afternoon. I'm Shawnee Au, and this is One News Now. The Philippine National Police is discouraging couples from engaging in public displays of affection or PDA as COVID-19 cases continue to rise. Spokesman Brigadier General Ildebrandi Osana is with us over the phone to shed more light on this. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. What prompted the PNP to issue a bawal ang PDA directive?
Uh, Good afternoon po, ma'am. Well, it is actually a reiteration of what was already being done by the authorities, in particular by the police, as far as submitting to the minimum physical distancing. We have to understand that it is because of this closeness between and among people that may create the impression that probably they might be facing a carrier of the virus itself. We have nothing to do about the relationships. We only have something to do with how the compliance with minimum health protocols are being complied with by the people themselves.
All right, I understand, sir, that this is based on an old directive, but since people are talking about it right now, can we expect some clearer guidelines to come out anytime soon?
Well, insofar as public display of affection is concerned, we have to reiterate that kissing, holding hands, maybe embracing with someone, maybe couples are doing this in public, of course, is a violation of the minimum physical distancing requirement of the government. If by chance the police will catch these couples doing this, then they will just have to be cautioned, or probably if there is a necessity for them to submit to the police by way of being issued with fines or apprehension if necessary because of this violation, then eventually appropriate action will have to be taken by the police itself.
All right, understood. But just another clarification, sir. Does this cover those who are actually married and those who actually live together?
It is only in public that we are discouraging couples, whether they are married couples, they are sweethearts, even those close friends that are so dear to you. They are subject. But of course, as far as the police is concerned, we are not interested to finding out what the relationship is. We are more interested in the compliance with the minimum physical distancing.
All right, understood. So basically, when you're in public, no matter if you're married, you have 10 kids, you just refrain from public displays of affection. Now, let's move on to another topic. How is the National Police intensifying the enforcement of health protocols as we face, this spike in cases in the last few days?
Well, the DILG OIC, USEC Flores has already given that standing order as far as deployment of our personnel, the conduct of checkpoints, the patrolling operations that we used to do in the past will have to be reiterated. And of course, this will require a coordination with the local government executives because we understand there are some measures being imposed by the LGUs with regard to lockdowns as well as the quarantine procedures. We have to submit to the LGUs because at the end of the day, their ordinances will serve as basis of our police officers to comply with the minimum health and safety protocols being imposed by each of the local government executives.
We already see some police officers deployed to areas under localized or granular lockdowns. Are you at liberty to tell us a situation from on the ground? I believe these are some areas or barangays in Pasay. We also have some in Manila.
That's right, ma'am, because basically the local government executives have the power to provide that kind of instructions to our local police. We have the localized version of the Joint Task Force COVID Shield. It is supposed to be under the management of our number 3-man, Police Lieutenant General Cesar Hotordinag. But because of that arrangement, where guidelines have already been set up, it is now dependent on the local police to ensure that these guidelines are being set up in collaboration with the local government unit.
All right, so thank you so much for your time. That was PNP spokesperson, Brigadier General Ildebrandi Usana. Around 40,000 people have been vaccinated since the vaccine rollout began on March 1. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, NTF Deputy Chief Implementer Vince Dizon said that jabs from AstraZeneca and Sinovac continue to arrive in different hospitals across the country. As for Russia's Gamaleya, Dizon said the Food and Drug Administration is expected to decide on the emergency use of its Sputnik V vaccine anytime soon.
Pero tingin natin ay tataas ng tataas yan habang yung mga bakuna ay dumarating na sa mga iba't ibang mga hospitals. Kasi ang objective is pagdating ng bakuna sa isang ospital, yan kagad ay ibabakuna kagad sa ating mga healthcare workers, both Sinovac at AstraZeneca.
Let's check in on other vaccine stories from around the world. Sudan has begun vaccinating its health workers with jabs from AstraZeneca. It will also prioritize those aged 45 and up with chronic conditions. Sudan is the first country in North Africa to receive supplies from the COVAX facility. China has launched a digital COVID-19 vaccination certificate for cross-border travels. This certificate will contain details of the holder's vaccine information and COVID-19 test results. And Greece will start accepting vaccinated and COVID-negative travelers by May. Greece is among the European countries leading calls for the issuance of vaccine certificates to help boost the economy. BioNTech is looking to produce 3 billion COVID-19 vaccines by 2022 through partnerships. More on that in this report by Bloomberg.
In principle, this could be possible, so we are evaluating that. But it also depends on the order book. Yeah. So the question is now with a number of additional vaccine companies coming into the market. Our key question is how much doses are required. Yeah, and where is the need to deliver. And this is something that we are evaluating at the moment.
What about the possibility of forging new partnerships? I mean, I know you've already worked with a bunch of other smart companies. Do you think, are you in talks with others to produce the vaccine in higher quantities and in more places?
Yeah, we are. We have still some undisclosed negotiations ongoing. But we have managed to establish a network with 13 partners, yeah, partners producing for us raw materials like lipids, yeah, and partners who are helping us in producing drug product, and partners in helping us also for fill and finish, like Sanofi, Baxter, or Novartis. So this is a network, a production network, and of course this production network includes the BioNTech production sites, including the Marburg site, which will come in now in April, and as well as the production sites of Pfizer, and in Europe it's Tours. Yeah.
Are you confident that you're going to be able to produce enough vaccines this year and next year with all of your partners to vaccinate everyone in the world? Does that look like an attainable goal to you, at least in terms of quantity, by, say, the end of 2022?
That must be the goal of all vaccine suppliers. So we need to ensure that everyone who needs a vaccine receives and wants a vaccine receives a vaccine. Yeah, and I'm pretty confident that we will be able to provide vaccines for in Europe and in the United States, and ensure that everyone who requires a vaccine gets a vaccine until end of summer. Of course, this assumption is based on that we are not running into multiple production problems, and I'm also confident that within 2022 we can have sufficient vaccine doses to ensure vaccination worldwide.
What are your plans for production next year? You want to produce 2 billion doses by the end of 2021. What about 2022?
Yeah, in principle, we could further increase our manufacturing capacity. So I don't see a limitation why we should not be able to produce even 3 billion doses in 2022. And it really depends on the demand. It depends on factors, for example, whether additional boost vaccinations are required. It will depend on potential changes in the strains. Yeah. And therefore we are prepared to further increase our manufacturing capacity, but we need to get additional information which might come in the next 6 months.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.